just unlock the screen. Okay, let's go. Good afternoon. I'm happy to share with you today our vision and to present Cozy Cloud. Data is the new oil. It's the fuel of the digital economy. And just like oil, this precious resource is also kept into silos. Web services control data access through tiny pipes, the APIs. This organization has created a shortage and gave birth to the API economy. Some even talk about the API war. Currently, the value of personal data is captured by the few. What does that mean for the rest of us? From my personal and developer point of view, these rules make it difficult, if not impossible, to develop and innovate new services using my own personal data. And this nasty fragmentation into silos keeps increasing as the data sources are exploding with new services, new devices, new sensors. To imitate a famous dead British woman, I would say, I want my data back. And what if we could break the silos and create a decentralized cloud? This is the aim of Cozy Cloud. Cozy wants to put the individuals at the center, and by simply giving back the data to the user, a new powerful paradigm emerges. Let's go through a quick demo of our personal cloud. Okay, this is the login page of your own personal cloud on your own server, from where you can access to your home. Here you can see the apps you have installed on your own server, on your own Cozy. If you go on the marketplace, you access to the list of the apps developed by third parties. You can install one in a click, then you are requested rights to access to some of your data. For instance, this application here requests the rights to access to the photo and contacts. And this is a very important point because this means that different applications can access to the same data. For instance, if you go into the Note application, usually you can only add text. But this Note application here can also has requested the right to access to different data, such as your contacts, reminders, or tasks. Here we are creating two tasks, and those tasks will be shared between all the apps. That's why those two created tasks will also be available into your to-do list. And we go in on the mobile, on the to-do application on the mobile, so the two tasks should be there. This is called the demo effect, I guess.
Okay. So we can show.
Anyway, the idea would have been that you had seen that the two tasks would have been accessible from your to-do list, and if you updated within your to-do app, then it would have been updated into your Note. And what is very interesting is that even if the two developers of the two applications didn't know each other, the two applications would collaborate around your data because they share the same data. Okay, so maybe we can see that the photo application is now installed, and that we can have a quick look to our last team meeting. Okay, so maybe we can now go back to the slides. What you have seen is a personal server where your data are federated and shared between apps. This federation changes many things. First, your application can collaborate around your data to deliver a more integrated and more frictionless user experience. Second, as you are sharing various data, Cozy makes it possible to deliver personal big data, personal analytics, and this in the respect of the individual's privacy. Last point, Cozy is fully open source and can be easily self-hosted. There's really no lock-in. In a word, Cozy is the iOS of servers because it's personal, intuitive, and you can augment it with apps developed by third parties. Now that you have the big picture of the project, you may say I'm a dreamer. Let me show you we are not crazy. First, the technical arguments. I promise I'll be quick, but I'm a tech guy, and believe me, those points are very important. First, Cozy is not an SDK, it's a PaaS, a platform as a service. It makes a huge difference for developers because it means that there's nothing to learn. They develop in the language they like, Ruby, Python, Node, PHP, whatever. And better, when they want to deploy their app, they don't have to take care of the backend. Finally, they just need the user's consent to access the data. They don't depend on various and complex and unsteady APIs. You can consider that Cozy is a kind of Google Apps Engine, but open and personal. Second, there's a huge early adopters audience. Last week on Hacker News, the thread Leaving Google Silo high scored. The hacker community is highly concerned about silos dependency, and Cozy is the perfect modeling clay for them. Last but not least, we have clients. Those companies have been convinced by our paradigm shift and technology, and they are paying us to conduct a personal data disclosure experiment with their clients. As a conclusion, I would like to leave you with this thought. Web 1 was static. Web 2 is social and collaborative. Web 3 might be semantic, but we strongly believe it will be personal. Thank you for your attention.
And thank you. Panelists.
First of all, thank you very much for coming. How do you convince the developers to use this?
How do? Sorry.
Why, if I'm a developer, should I use this?
The first pain that we solve for developers is that they can have the control over their data. I want my data back. So the first developers who will come on the platform are definitely hackers. But there's also, as we said, the brick and mortar companies. Because brick and mortar companies we saw now are interested in a paradigm shift because they are not pure internet players. And we say them, don't compete against Mint. You will always be one step backward. Give the data back to the users. Then they will deploy your app on their Cozy, on their instance. And then you will be able to have a service that will use all the data of the user.
Who is creating the applications?
As I said, anyone. Because you can propose a new app that is available within your marketplace, and companies such as Société Générale can offer and suggest an app, but anyone can propose an app.
So I go to all my startups, I tell them, stop developing on iOS because, and go and develop into this new, because they get so the user can remove their data.
I don't.
What's the proposition? I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm studying the proposition. I understand the concept of proposition to the consumer. I still didn't get what's the proposition to the developers.
The proposition for the developers is first, as a consumer, they can have the control of their data. They are their own developers for themselves. The project took its origin in my personal approach. Second, you will be able to offer much more wider services to your apps because it will be able to access to all the data of the user. It's really a way to empower the user much more than to develop a service on iOS.
Don't you have a chicken and egg problem? I mean, why would Société Générale, you mentioned that name, why would Société Générale move to that before having a network effect, meaning having enough users using that? And on the other end, I think that this, if you just do a consumer play, is limited to early adopters. Because let's be honest, you still, maybe it will change in the next few years, you still don't sell a product or just saying about data liberation or privacy. Most people don't care. I mean, we care here, but most people don't care. So where's it? Wouldn't you be better off trying just only to target corporations?
The point with corporations is the time. They are slow, and the time to take decision will be dead. But today they are ready to take the risk to invest into small R&D steps, and they are paying for it. The result of this project is really a budget for us, and it's quite important for us. And on the other side, we are legitimate to deal with the hacker community, to bring them a new powerful tool so that they can do easily, I would say, shit with it.
So I mean, how do you, just taking the consumer aspect, I mean, Gmail is huge, Evernote is huge, Dropbox is huge, Instagram is huge. Like, your application, I mean, they are nice, but they're the 0.01 version of what all these guys are doing. So I don't understand what's going to drive a consumer to use basic email application from Yum service versus when he can use Gmail, which is an order of magnitude more efficient. I don't see how the developers are going to be interested on a platform if there are no users. So first you need to get users. For that you need to have great application. So what is your plan? I mean, to get a great application, because I mean your demo was nice, but there's nothing that compels me to say, well, I'm going to use your Node application instead of Evernote, where by the way, now I have 4 years of nodes on it. Right?
Of course. So the first step is to be able to import the data already existing so that you get your data back. And then the second point is that your apps, when you are in Cozy, can leverage your data because you can be completely cross. What we have seen here is that you have created a task within your Note and never you will have this possibility within Evernote because Evernote will not allow you to create a task that will be available in AnyDo or any other competitor services. And this level of this transversality of the data is much more powerful than having different silos that keeps data separated and isolated. The power of data can only be become true, can help you to take smarter decisions if you break the silos.
Excellent. Well, we need to take a break in the question and answer because we've run out of time. But we thank you very much for your presentation. Good luck in the competition and with the business. Thank you.